I'm always in shock when I'm sitting here in the pre-stream. I said this yesterday, and I pull up the chat and I'm like, oh look, there's like 3 people here. This is great. Obviously YouTube, like internet. If I type YUO2, I probably mean YouTube.
In today's episode, we're exploring the beautiful Bernay Palace in Portugal. While it's known for
It is 12:02 a.m. Eastern Time. You know what that means. How's it going, everyone who is or isn't here? Oh my god, it held that for review. That's hilarious. Actually, wait a second. There we go. I was promised. I wonder if... There we go. He got a wrench. I like how on screen it says face purple crying. It doesn't show the what do you call those on here? Like it's to me it's kind of like an emoji, but I forget what they call it on chats. He's so disappointed. For some reason I was thinking sticker or something like that. You are under 4. Oh my god. Yeah, but I'm also not super familiar with the Twitch terms. Emoticons, yes. Remember emoticons? Those were the best. Emoticons are superior. This was mine. My signature all the time because I thought it made me different. I was like, look at me. I used the little brackets thing instead of the parentheses. Pepperidge Farms remembers. You know, it's funny. I'm so used to like working with coworkers who are Zoomers. And I mean, like some of them know some things musically or, you know, just culturally, right? But overall, it's just, there's this, wow, these people just don't know about stuff. And so when I get to know a coworker who is like similar age to me, it's always like this huge like, I know you. You're from the time. We share so much. Do 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 do. Gotta love this music. This music, by the way, in case you're interested, it is in the description because they asked that you put it in there. But this White Bat Audio, whoever this is, they make some pretty awesome music, and I use them for most of my streams as the backing music. It's pretty awesome. We got Greg here. It says there's 3 people. I'm going to assume one of them is me. But today, so yesterday we watched some spooky videos. I forgot what the name of the channel is. Yeah, dude, I love anything chill synth or retro future is a term I like, or neon retro or something. The delay is, I know the delay is like it feels like, I think 15 or 20 seconds. I think I can turn the latency on the stream down, but I'm also worried about the performance. So that's why I go ahead and leave the delay. Well, there's a crap load of subgenres in the synthwave and chill synth and all that stuff. Like I think my performance is good. Like I have 0 drop frames, running at 45.3% CPU or somewhere around there. 2600 kilobytes a second. Like I did a whole bunch of tuning on this to make sure that my performance was going to stay solid and I didn't have to worry about anything, in the stream. I don't want my computer lagging up or anything like that while I'm in the middle of stuff. Zage Wolf, welcome. How is your, I think you said hip from basketball camp? Zage Wolf is cool. He's one of the first new people that came onto the channel for my live streams. So but yeah, yesterday we were watching some, called it a spooky stream because we were watching these creepy videos. I forgot the name of the channel already, unfortunately. But they do compilations of like creepy videos and stuff that people send into them. And it was kind of fun to just sit there and break down which ones were believable or not believable and why. So, but that I've always liked urban exploration. So that's why I brought up the Proper People. I've watched their videos before. There's a bunch of them actually before. But actually it was a couple years ago. And I also like a guy, his name is This is Dan Bell. There's Retail Arcology. But I really love this stuff where they explored like not abandoned, but like dying malls and abandoned malls and stuff. That was where I kind of broke into the urbex stuff. And then I watched these guys and they got some really cool videos. It's not meant to be like scary or anything like that. It's just them exploring and giving you the history of places. I actually haven't seen a lot of these because I think the last time I watched them was probably about a year ago. Maybe a little bit more. They're like living relics, like we always think of ancient Rome and ancient Greece and Egypt and all this stuff, like the ruins there. And it's all like stone ruins. It's all monuments and temples and stuff like that, but we don't realize that we actually kind of live amongst our own ruins currently. I was thinking about that. The last restaurant I worked at, it was actually, because I don't work there now, so I don't care. It was actually an Applebee's, and I realized after I worked there for about a month that a lot of the stuff in that building, especially in the kitchen, was like unchanged since the 90s. And I'm sitting there going, we are literally working inside of a living relic. I watch more spoopy streams. Yeah, but I think you like this urbex stuff. The Proper People. I got way too many wrenches in this chat, so if anybody's here that is not a moderator, please chime in. Or I could just start revoking some wrenches. But yeah, I definitely plan to do more of the spooky stuff. And the streams aren't always going to be like one set topic. It can change. Like the other day I had planned on talking the server life stuff, and it actually started out like an hour of video game talk. No. I'm special. I had Taco Bell today. It was actually really good. Couple beefy 5-layer burritos and a Baja Blast freezer. That was delish. It was very good. especially when it's 110 degrees outside and I don't have AC in my car. So oh my god, everybody is spooping Taco Bell. So I feel like I'm gonna start doing this thing where the best comments get pinned until the next best comment. Make it a competition. I think this could be interesting. RFK Stadium. I remember when this was a thing. Won by 20, lost 1 by 12. It's fun, but so is your basketball camp? Is it like an ongoing thing, or is it just like was a day? I don't know. The freeze machine here always seems to be good. Of course, Slurpee has become my big thing recently. Because the 7-Elevens have popped up all over Florida now, so get them Slurpees. Dollar Slurpee. That's really cool. I never did a camp. I think the closest, because I was homeschooled, so the closest I ever came was when I was really young. We were part of like a homeschoolers like association, and so we would go on field trips, and we got to go to SeaWorld one time when I was like, I think I was like 6 or something like that, and I actually ended up. We were in the amphitheater for one of the shows, and I got selected out of the audience to go down and participate in the dolphin show. So I got to like feed them and pet them and give them like, you know, the hand signs and stuff to tell them to do stuff. It was really cool. That's the closest I came to any kind of camp, just a field trip.
In today's episode, we're in Washington, D.C. to explore the famous RFK Stadium.
That's
From
not
its opening, the venue was home to the
suspect at all.
Washington Redskins, who played there until 1996. Over the years, the stadium was also home to soccer teams, university teams, and multiple MLB franchises. Not to be forgotten are the numerous events that were held here, including World Cup matches, Olympic Games, and concerts, from legendary acts like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and Pink Floyd.
That did not make it any better, Greg.
RFK's final long-term tenant, the DC United MLS team, ended their lease in 2017. Since then, the stadium has sat mostly unused and looking a little worse for wear. Now, with demolition right around the corner, we're venturing inside to see what's left. Join us as we explore.
It would probably help if my mic was on. That'd be great. Ready? I don't know who told you this was a respectable stream. Was that you, Zage? Did you tell him this was a respectable stream? Because I think y'all are making stuff up. This is only 8 months ago, too. I didn't even know the stadium still was standing.
Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this portion of today's video. NordVPN is a super fast VPN service that allows you to protect yourself when connecting to the internet. By hiding your IP address and encrypting your traffic, NordVPN protects your data from snoopers and cyber attacks. Man-in-the-middle attacks are very possible on public networks. You don't know who's hosting them, so you should never connect.
I can't really talk because I look forward to the day that NordVPN
before it even leaves your device.
or ExpressVPN or Raid Shadow Legends. If I just say these things enough in the stream, will they eventually notice me? Ridge Wallet,
sites, downloads, trackers, and intrusive ads. And it
G
can
Fuel.
also be enabled even if not connected to a VPN. Since one NordVPN account can have up to 6
What do you mean you didn't know it existed? RFK Stadium, where the Redskins used to play?
All of your devices. Take control of your internet experience today with NordVPN.
Spooptable stream?
Right now, you can get a 2-year plan at a huge discount, plus 4 additional months for free when you go to nordvpn.com/properpeople. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Just click the link in the description.
The commander, yeah. Lots of empty. Well, you know, it is Washington. Hello, Fresh.
Let's go up.
I mean, your team plays in the same division. I figured you'd know the stadium. Go to hellofresh.com. I'll take any of them. I don't care. I will shill for Raid Shadow Legends.
Damn.
But not intrusively or anything.
Paint is flaked off all over the place.
Like,
Look at the lights.
do they like never use it anymore? Like, is it condemned or what? Because you'd think when you have an old abandoned stadium like this,
and they always connect to the tunnels on the outside.
you could just use it to put on like super cheap shows just to sell
See those
tickets.
tracks around the stadium, the field?
Yeah.
Car could drive around at any moment. From that one all the way around to the next one.
Wait, what?
But there's hiding behind the seats, so.
I just know the Eagles go to DC. Yeah.
Try the other side.
Yeah, we can try the other side.
I would love to do this though. I watched one they had at some. Maybe might watch it tonight. I don't know.
Lights still work.
Yeah, they're just left there and nothing is done with them. They just.
Look at the cobwebs and shit on the light.
But they did one where they explored this abandoned mall. I think it was in Nashville, and they literally found like cases of like old photos and stuff about people that had been there in like the 80s. It was crazy.
Wow, these are all locked. The light is hanging down and it's still on.
There's still power running in the
Watch
place.
out, there's electrical connections hanging right in front of me. Open contacts. I wouldn't touch that.
Right, like you could use them to host people that, like if there's a natural disaster or something.
Oh yeah. It's a good view.
I don't see a car.
I wonder if they just leave power onto it just,
This one seems a bit dated to be here still.
I don't know, in case security or somebody's going through or for maintenance or something. I mean, not that they maintain the place, but
So this is probably press or something up here.
like these are our Roman Colosseums and stuff.
There's some box seats down there that we could try to get into.
Sponsored by Bud Light.
Those look pretty interesting.
So those are part of the offices, I think. Yeah.
It's kind of
Boxes start
interesting
right here.
too when you look at these like old stadiums,
So you
how
can just cross over
bare
all those
bones they were.
bridges.
Like obviously this is many years after this stadium
Right.
is abandoned, but
So like security's
back in the
come over there
day,
anyway.
they
You
were
just stick
they
to
were
where they can go in
not
golf
the
cart.
technological behemoths they are now. With all kinds of luxuries and stuff. It was like, hey, here's where you sit and watch the game. Here's where you buy your beer, and here's where you pee it out. $8, man.
$10 for a beer. Typical stadium
prices. Even how many years old this is.
You want to check out the concessions?
Where is this crossover? Oh, the staircase.
Down a level.
Okay.
Smells like a kitchen.
Nice.
The oil
Still
in
oil?
there.
What the heck?
And you see the floor, how gross it is? It's because it's dripped and leaked out.
This stadium hasn't been used in like,
It's oil.
I think at least 20 years or something like that. They may say.
Time before we get caught. The sheer size of this place is the only thing on our side.
Because FedEx Field was actually good time ago.
Well, to ourselves and the two security guards.
Yeah, it has to be a
So we're one level down now. We got these bridges. We were up a level there before.
It's actually kind of interesting. You don't see that kind of
Oh my God,
structure in
there's moss everywhere.
modern stadiums.
Should we head to the Capitol View Club?
There really are wasps everywhere. So there's a bunch of boxes that continue that way, and then some more this way. So
Let's just go this way.
all right.
I am excited about the new Jaguars stadium situation. It's just, I'm not a fan of everything going indoors. Like, it takes away the drama of weather.
Upper writing press.
Upper writing.
Oh my God, it's hot in here.
Yeah.
Greenhouse effect.
Mhm.
Great. Oh. Lights
It's amazing that there would still be
So
all
they'd
these
probably just be
seats and
taking notes
garbage
on the
cans and
game
stuff
so they can
there.
report later.
TVs.
Still have CRTs in here. It's a bit dated. It
Dude,
turns
give me
on.
that TV. I need one of those.
What's it gonna be?
Probably a Trinitron.
Whatever. Actually, oh, there it is.
That's a really good
stack.
CRT.
Who would have guessed?
Guess we gotta find the broadcaster.
Dude, it works.
And broadcast something.
Yeah. Just leave this one TV on, light up the room and static at night. Security's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Turn all of them on. I'll really light it up.
Yeah, AC's not operational.
Yeah, those Sony Trinitrons were like
other
some of the
side,
best
so this is
CRT TVs.
Just a
Really
bar or
good for
something.
gaming. I had one back in the day.
Yeah, you can see the main street from here. Look at this. A 2007 media guide for.
Funny thing is, they can
San
go for
Diego
hundreds of
Padres.
dollars. Some of them, if they're in good shape, and depending on the features they have,
So this has their entire roster and their
probably a good amount of money
their whole
hanging
career
around the
history.
stadium.
So media can research players and report on them, I guess. I bet you there's more for other teams around here somewhere. That's an old-looking fire pole and sign above it. But I guarantee you that still works. But that's original, most likely.
I always see these places, especially in like malls. Like those are really interesting ones, and it's just like people once
You can see
inhabited
through
this
all the boxes.
and used it all the
Because each
time.
magazine or newscasting would reserve one of these. Guess these would more be news because the press box was over there for the writing.
Yeah.
So these would be like news.
The blinds are only on one side, too. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
get to decide if they want privacy, not if
That's
you're in
fine.
here.
I there's another TV. Like right now, if you go on eBay and search CRTVs, most of them are going for $100, $150, some are $200. Like they're not cheap like you would think they'd be.
Well, it's recently abandoned and recently not maintained, so it
just shows you how fast buildings go downhill without maintenance.
We were up on the upper level before. That's the Washington Monument.
You can barely see.
It's like
it's so sun faded.
Yeah, sun faded.
Look at that. These have been baking in the sun for so many years.
Yeah, I mean,
more media guides back here.
Records outselling CD. Yeah, there's a nostalgia factor there. Although a lot of records are not actually like super expensive. You can go find some of them for like $5-10 at like used.
The Royals. Seattle.
But like for text, like for instance, the CRT TVs,
Detroit Tigers,
some people have started going for them because
every team.
Well, instead of plugging their old
like a whole library of
PlayStation, Xbox, or Genesis or Nintendo or something into an HD TV, which is kind of nice if you have an HDMI converter for it. Some people have just gone back to like, well, I want to plug it into the real deal, the original, what it was made for. And now
speakers,
they've gotten expensive.
So maybe this did control some speaker systems. Probably did. As much as I want to play with this.
Just turn it on and start playing something.
Look, scorer mic, press mic, PA feed, crowd mic.
Wow.
Press feed. Yeah, like there's a chance that it could make a loud ass noise.
It could make a loud ass noise.
Oh wait, you can get in here, but this is gonna be locked. This is part of the office stuff.
This might be where security is. There you go.
Yeah, so I think there's like still active security in the place though.
No.
A lot of the places they explored
Like someone's listening to something.
does not.
It could be a deterrent, but it could also not be.
Oh shit, he saw me.
He saw
Whoops.
Yeah.
Run.
Like legit saw you.
Yeah, he
So
looked
you
out.
leave. All right, let's go.
That's funny.
Is he coming out?
No.
Are you sure he saw
He
you?
was in a cubicle. I saw him.
He's probably like
I wonder
sitting
if
there
he
munching his
crossed over,
donuts.
probably.
I don't feel like getting up and chasing people around the stadium.
So it was security or just a fucking dude? This place is not really that advanced. We should dip.
They're still cool shit.
I mean, all he's gonna do is kick you out if he is security.
He's gonna call the security.
It's a pretty big place too. It'd be kind of hard to find you if you weren't like obvious.
There's a reason why I made it.
What did you say?
The reason why
There's a key. Yeah, these offices are definitely abandoned. Okay.
I don't think a lot of people
So, like,
realize how easy it
meanwhile,
is
those
to
white
actually
trucks are
like
parked. Those are the offices
lose
for that.
somebody if you're not being obvious.
All right, I'm cool hanging out in here because they're not gonna find us in here. Phones, yeah.
What?
Weeds, not pot.
Dude, I fucking saw him just peek around the corner of a cubicle.
I think we should not be like out in the open anymore, but we can finish exploring these offices and then we should probably go.
I wanted to see them go down like field level, find their way down there.
These are personal offices.
I don't know if they'll get there with this video. You always like see this and you're like, do they intend to like use this again at some point? Like
If I can find the
It's almost like structural hoarding. Like you haven't torn the place down, you haven't sold it, because probably no one wants to buy it.
Recently abandoned. But I mean, you can just turn on the AC and it's gonna be like fully
follow his footsteps.
Lights still work. We're in here using light panels. Like this is some dark, dingy building, but like you can literally just flip the light switch right there. They have dawn on blue X's on the door, so they're probably clearing it out. So here's office 420. This is the IT room. Oh, this. Ooh, there's AC.
Well, it's not AC, there's the server stuff.
But it's cold in here.
Oh. Guess they need a cool server.
Walkie-talkie.
What the heck? A lot of junk.
Work rack. That is such a mess. Like, wow.
Why is their servers running?
Surprised they didn't clean this stuff out. Unless they still use it for something. Maybe the cameras hook into this somewhere?
Could just run the network for the place, yeah.
All these floppies.
Hack it into it and take control of the facility.
These aren't floppies?
No, they're similar, but they're like a cartridge.
Those are floppy disks. What are you talking about?
Makes me uneasy.
Or not floppy, but
Right there.
This is literally only
compact,
partially
not
abandoned.
compact
Parts
disc.
that
Oh my
are partially
god,
abandoned are, like, in
it's a
between.
CD.
There's a Wi-Fi access point. It's on right there.
There is Wi-Fi in here. Hold on,
Oh,
is
yeah, the
light on or off?
Off. It's nice and cool.
It is.
This looks like there would be security sitting. Oh, it's just the secretary's office for the
This all
reception
looks like
desk
places you would
for
end up
events,
in,
DC.
like Dead Island or something. I know, dude. That's what they're like. Oh, that's not a floppy disk. I'm looking at like it's some sort of other cartridge thing. It's similar. Like, bro, that's a floppy disk.
It's all water.
I put $1 in it.
Did you really?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It didn't work. There's probably nothing in it.
No.
The United Club.
I remember installing games off of those things.
Season ticket goals. Their revenue. Garen LaPasta was making them a lot of revenue. Why do these all just sound like names? Timmy, Gigi, Bryce, Tim Crowley, Barth.
But then you got Ticketmaster.
What the heck?
Weird. This kind of explains why drop ceilings are such a popular thing in offices. Because
The wires are looking really messy.
I guess. I kind of like the big open space. I mean, yeah, of course, your wire management. Keep going lower. You're almost there. There was something so, like, thinking about the floppy disk, there was, like, just something so tactile. Like, you put the disc in the thing and it had that little ka-chunk
Yeah.
when you pushed it in.
But there's no windows in, is there?
No, I don't think so. Unless they came out one of those things.
Nice. Pretty cool ambience. like we were saying, it's definitely interesting. Like these are monuments. There are coliseums, you know.
Arthur Dutch Bergman,
just left standing and nobody used them for anything.
1973 this was dedicated, so been here a while.
The DC, what? Oh, forgot they have a soccer team, MLS team.
Old-looking turnstiles.
Those look pretty old.
Still counting.
Dang.
These are probably original to the stadium.
Going into sneak mode.
That's a problem.
This is so sus.
There's no one in the car.
No.
This is so sus. Oh, dang. The heck, there's just an Acura parked in there.
Yeah. All right.
All right, what is
Yeah.
it?
Tripping on it.
We didn't actually see security once,
Well,
even though we know
there's
they're
that
there.
dude. I saw. I don't think I got him
So,
on camera.
It's good we at least got the car on camera to prove that we're not crazy.
That
There is,
they're
like,
not
some
just,
sort of security
losing it.
presence here.
I mean, it was in use long enough to at least get to hashtags.
I already got your camera. You can try to run if you want to.
I'm not running, I'm walking.
You went in the building.
And with that, we conclude our exploration of RFK Stadium.
Nice.
Demolition is scheduled to begin in early 2023, and the
Oh,
seats
really?
have already begun to be ripped out. Currently, a future use for the property is still undetermined.
Oh, so this is probably gone at this point. Now I'm curious. Defunct stadium in Washington. How you get in? You go in the building and like, no, yeah, ain't none of their business. You ain't a cop. It was owned by the federal government till 1986. So, my gosh. It is owned and operated by Events DC, the successor agency to the DC Armory Board, a quasi-public organization affiliated with the city government under a lease that runs until 2038 from the National Park Service, which owns land. But, yeah, looks like demolition began in 2023. That's crazy. Did they ever believe it was actually going to be used until this point? That's a little bit silly if they did. 2038. This is the one I was talking about, exploring the abandoned Knoxville Center Mall. I watched that one before. It's kind of long. I don't want to do it right now. But in this one, they're exploring this mall and found some of the offices. Malls are like the best urban exploration stuff because they're just giant liminal spaces, basically. But they found these offices, and there was all these albums that like chronicled the history of that mall from, I think it was like the 70s through the 80s and 90s. And you're like, my gosh, the long storied history that these malls have. And then I always get like kind of nostalgic because I'm like, I once worked in a mall. I know what it's like to be in the back rooms of some little shop in the middle of a mall, you know? Like, it's just kind of crazy. Especially with that kind of place kind of dying off, you know? Yeah, here we go. Let's do them all. Like, just when you think of how many tens to hundreds of thousands of people, some cases probably millions, patronized some of these malls over decades and generations, and now they're just done.
In today's episode, we're exploring the abandoned Richmond Town Square Mall just outside of Cleveland. Known simply as the Richmond Mall when it opened in 1966, it was one of the largest of its time and a forerunner of the American shopping mall building frenzy that would continue throughout the following decades.
Yeah.
The mall thrived for much of its life, but eventually took a path of inevitable decline that has become all too familiar. The main anchor tenants all left in the 2010s, including Sears and JCPenney, which had been there since the mall's original opening 50 years earlier.
50 years.
The mall managed to survive until 2021, marking an impressively long lifespan when compared to the vast majority of its counterparts. Now, we're venturing inside on this desolate winter day to see what's left. Join us as we explore.
Yeah, so there was a time in my life where I was like super anti-mall, you know, and partly because malls can be a drain on local culture. They can pull foot traffic and business away from town centers, you know, downtowns and stuff like that, which are more culturally important.
Take extra steps to
But
make sure you're secure when online with today's sponsor,
when I think back to my childhood
NordVPN protects your online
and
privacy
even my
by
teen
making
years and
sure
stuff,
your
but
data
especially
is
going back to
encrypted
like the
before it
90s,
even leaves your
and
device.
how many times I
Block
remember
websites,
going
ISPs,
to
and
the
anyone
mall
else
with
from
my
tracking
parents,
your
with my
internet
mom,
usage, and get around
and there
region
were
restrictions by connecting to other regions'
just
VPN
hundreds and
servers.
hundreds of people.
Using a
Like
VPN
sometimes
is
they were
especially
so
important when
crowded
connecting to public
that you were
networks like a
everywhere you
hotel,
went in the
coffee
mall, you
shop,
were
or
shoulder to
airport,
shoulder with
as you don't
people.
know who is
It was
managing
just
their
such
network
a
or who will be
huge
connected to it.
center
Not
of
only is
culture.
NordVPN helpful
You
when
went
you're
shopping
traveling,
there,
it
you
also
went to
helps
the
before
food
you
court,
travel.
people went on dates
Ticket
there.
prices can change based on how
Teenagers
many
hung
times
out
you've
there
returned to
after
the booking
school. It
page
was
and based on
at
where
one
you're
point it was
located.
like where you went to
NordVPN
like
allows you to
see the
connect from a
girls,
different
you know, because they
location
were out
and it
shopping and stuff,
anonymizes your
right?
traffic so that the website
And
doesn't recognize you.
it was
With 5,400 plus servers in
it was
51
a
countries
sign
with
of the
super-fast
times, like when
connections,
people
you can
were
browse the web
more
without borders and
connected,
without
like
impacting your
socially, and they
connection
went
speed.
out
You can
places to
protect
see
all
other
of your
just
devices,
for
and one
the
account supports 6
possible
connections, and all
interactions with
major
other people.
operating systems are supported.
And
Every
how much of
purchase
that
a
is just
2-year
kind of
plan
gone
will
now.
receive a huge discount plus 4 bonus months for free. It's risk-free as every purchase is protected with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Just go to
So like there's a little part of me now that looks at it and goes, man, you know, malls were kind of a important thing.
We're in a large store.
And when there's such a big part of
This wasn't
your
for sure.
Kmart.
youth, your childhood growing up, you have these memories of these vast, interesting
can tell it's
places
definitely not
full
an
of
upscale
people,
department
and then you
store.
just see them kind of
There's
empty and
escalators.
desolate. It's kind of crazy.
Probably was built this one.
Yeah, it was probably.
Because this mall's from the 60s, I believe,
Yeah,
which is
it definitely was
pretty
turned into
old.
a Kmart later on. But the mall entrance is open, and I see a lot of construction.
There's kind of like
walls.
that sad
I'm sure you're wondering,
loss,
just as
you
I
know,
am
a little
watching
bit
this
of
back,
nostalgia.
how on earth we thought this could have been a Kmart. I don't have an answer for that. It was in fact the J.C. Penney, which we'll realize soon enough.
That's funny.
Yeah, this hallway looks really cool. Is the Planet Fitness still open?
Is what still
The
open?
Planet Fitness.
But these are now,
It might
like we were talking about
Power is
earlier.
on.
These
I
are
think it is.
like standing monuments
It's just walled off from the
to
rest of the mall.
social, like a social
Power on,
explosion of
it's
sorts
90K.
for a couple decades.
That's interesting.
And now just empty.
Lots of drips. So that was a Regal, even though it looked like an AMC.
It was what?
Or it says Regal.
Oh, it had to have been built as an AMC.
AMC converted to Regal. Sears, JCPenney. Where'd we come in?
I worked in a mall twice in my life, 2006 and 2007.
JCPenney, I think.
Yeah, which was converted to a Kmart, but I don't know.
Maybe it was a JCPenney till the end.
Yeah,
And the Kmart carts are just random.
probably.
So we did see security driving around the outside, and now that there's power on in the mall, I feel like it's possible he comes inside too.
Look at the collapsed roof over there.
Look at this.
All the water just coming in.
That is so cool.
And some of these stores, some of these brands, Payless and a lot of these were like really big time brands, like nationwide at every mall. And I think that there's a lot of people now that just wouldn't even know what they are.
So weird seeing this much decay with power still on.
This store seems pretty intact.
Perfect background music too. All
Having been built in
liminal mallish.
1966, this mall is actually the oldest that we've done a video on. You'd never be able to tell, however, as an extensive renovation took place in 1998 that wiped away most of the mall's original design elements.
All the red check marks.
Well,
in
yeah,
every
but you just put a
storefront.
bucket there and a little thing that says to watch out.
I guess.
Nobody's gonna get hurt.
Make sure we're practicing social distancing while we're in here.
6 feet.
Very high risk area, especially now.
God, 2020
Still
infested
covering up
everything,
the skylight now.
even the dead malls.
Yeah, it might get darker.
Most of these stores look very empty, which is why we're breezing past them.
Probably the mall cleared it. When they were clearing out the mall, they probably cut this hole. I don't think anyone else would have done that.
Sometimes when I watch these, so I sit there and think like, how many like young people had jobs at these little places, and
It's always a main attraction.
you know they went down to the food court on their break and got something to eat.
There's neon on.
Nice salmon-colored neon.
Yeah, they said it survived. It actually managed to survive until 2021 before fully closing. A lot of these dead malls limp along with like
There's a lot of wood colors.
one key store,
They look a little interesting.
Which one?
Kinda just been zooming
or
past
maybe
them.
maybe like everything will be pretty much closed down except for the JCPenney is still open on the one end, and that's like it. Maybe there's a gym that gets put in next to it or something.
Here's the food
But
court.
most of the time those die off too, you know. So there's a lot of malls out there that they're pretty much dead. They're what we call a dead mall. They just have like one anchor store and like some thrift store or some local place has moved in. There's the food court.
That's sus. It's not that windy out. That's a person.
Cell phone accessory shops and arcades.
We'll be back to the food court soon.
Just so you know, I'll have to go find it again. I literally found a video on YouTube, Greg, that is from a Black Friday that we worked
Going off, so they've literally
at
just
that mall.
wired them. It's pretty funny.
But I'll have to go find it again.
This anchor was blank on the map.
I'll text it to
So
you
it's been
like later or
closed for a
something.
while.
Which is funny because, you know, arcades like died how many years ago, and it's like they trying to hang on to those too.
The neon's falling down, that's why.
Oh yeah, but it's still lit. This is maybe getting.
Well, and that's the thing is like I feel like every young person should like have a mall job at some point. But that's kind of just not a thing now.
It's probably musty in there.
This anchor was originally Kaufman's, which later became Macy's in 2006. Now, it's been repurposed as a self-storage facility and will be the only part of the mall spared from demolition.
The mall here actually is okay. Like, it does okay.
Back rooms.
Yeah, these are definitely the mall offices.
But it's not like it's also not like the biggest mall ever. And the road it on is also like extremely busy. Like restaurant row, basically. So it's provided some traffic just because of all the restaurants right around it. Like there's like a Texas Roadhouse right in the parking lot, and across the street is like every other restaurant you can think of.
I don't know why there's a light on there.
Red Robin, Olive Garden, Red Lobster.
It's probably nothing.
Down the road is Cheddar's, just in general. There's a lot of business that comes by, so it helps bring people to the mall and keeps it limping along.
It's definitely been beige.
No way. In and out coming up there, huh?
Everything's beige.
Like, I don't think we realized it when these places were operational, but they're kind of beautiful in a lot of senses, and they're a statement of the design choices and aesthetics of the time too.
Dollar store type place. Very mom and
Like
pop.
everything now is so it's disposable in a sense. Like even our kind of these mega structures for shopping and stuff we built. Well, here we are 50 years later, they're either going to be just left to die or they're going to be demolished. Whereas like past civilizations, they built things out of stone and marble, like they're still here thousands of years later, so we have evidence that they built these things and existed.
It was originally a Garance. Never heard of that.
So over here, it does say that there's a connection to the cinema. And the Sears is cut open. So the cinema that's outside both the ways.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Maybe they expect you to cut outside.
It's dark down there.
It is. And then we can check out Sears.
Sears was like once the place where you went for everything.
I feel like every mall we go into, Sears is the most stripped, always.
I wonder if that's just because they strip all their shit when they close.
I feel like the company strips it.
That door looks kind of open over there.
Well, it was probably something in their bankruptcy. They were trying to get as much value out of what they had.
It should be 2 stories. Should be escalators somewhere.
Maybe they walled them off because they stopped using upstairs.
Yeah, it's possible.
And here's elevators.
Oh yeah, big freight ones.
This is barber salon thing. This is a salon. Wait, no. That's dentist. Sears had dentists?
I don't think so.
There were a lot of interesting things that
Probably a door.
moved into the spaces that were malls as many of them started to die. You would have like local army recruiting offices, apparently dentists. You'd have like local thrift stores and stuff like that, just as a
It's
way
like
to try and pull some sort of leasing in. But basically, once your anchor stores all died off and left, it didn't pull anybody there to support the smaller stores.
think it was a Sears dentist?
Could have been.
I've literally never heard of that. That's crazy.
I mean, these days you got stuff like dentists at Walmart.
I've never heard of that either.
Really?
That's also news to me.
A Sears dentist.
And it's emptied. It's 3 stories.
But up is completely sealed off.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's really abandoned down there. You can either crawl
That goes
through.
up.
Oh, it does go up.
They probably started using up just for their storage.
Yeah. You can either crawl through or we can just take the staircase.
I'm gonna go down.
Built this like.
It looks completely stripped down here.
It's always dank in the first floor of a Sears. Sears, first floor. Always dark and dank.
Some of the ones you see it more from like Dan Bell and Retail Arcology, but some of the ones where they were going, and yeah, this is some of the videos are years ago now, where they were going into the malls as they were dying, like in their last days, their last months or whatever. That was actually quite interesting to see,
all the gears and
because the places were technically still open, but they were finished.
Sears Optical.
I always had that fear of getting stuck in an escalator when I was a kid.
Sears.
Some movie I saw, I don't know what it was, where some chick got like pulled into one, and it was not
nothing left.
Final
Not even the
Destination.
walls.
It was like in the early 90s.
Yeah, let's check out the top floor of the Sears. It's probably gonna be empty storage area, but
It could be really vintage.
could be.
There's like a
Remember the stairway
remnants on those floors.
next to GameStop? Coming in there in middle of winter.
Oh wow, there's light.
It was dark.
Yeah, and tags.
And there's tags.
You can see the snow coming
Back when the
down.
place was still busy.
This one room got really tagged up.
This is like the spot, I guess. The skylight of the theater.
Oh man,
Snow.
that's one thing I do not miss, the snow.
It's really snowing.
Should we go back to the food court, or should we try to cross through a more safe way?
There's open back rooms we can go down.
Okay, let's do that. It's always good to check out some of the back rooms too.
The back rooms. All right, Greg.
Empty
Thanks for
display.
jumping in.
I remember there was one video.
In
where I
general,
was
like I
looking at
said,
display
I
with
typically I'm trying to stream 4 to 5 days a week.
and nobody said
um,
anything. Nobody noticed.
There
me.
were people in the
Typically, it seems like it's gonna be like 4, and then there might be like a day where I do a Twitch stream of like
Whatever
Warzone or
that sound
something,
is.
and then maybe a day or 2 off. So
Ooh,
just want to stay consistent.
mold.
But yeah, I will text you later.
It is really, really, really.
I'm gonna find that video if I can.
I can smell it from out here. I'm not going in there. Should we try the vending machine?
If you want to put it back in,
I
sure.
think we have to. Well, it says $999, right?
Oh, it does.
$99.95.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth.
Don't forget to drop a like on your way out.
I'm not about to put $100. We just heard a loud bang. There's got to be someone in here.
You know, for all the like security and stuff where they try to keep people out of these places and stuff, as time goes on, it's going to be more and more appreciated that people were doing this kind of stuff. Because like I said, like eventually all these places will be like demolished or just kind of dilapidated and fall in on themselves or whatever. And a lot of these YouTubers, these people who are going and documenting these places as they die or like afterwards before they get demolished, they're like the records keepers. They're the ones that are documenting that these places existed because they're not going to. So try all you want to stop them, but they're providing a valuable service.
Underground station?
Wait, does it connect to like a railway or something? There's no way.
Oh, this is cool. Notes from the workers.
All the van stickers.
See, like, this is what I'm saying. Nobody would know that this existed. The people who left these behind, you know, what if someday down the road they end up stumbling across this field and they're like, oh my God, we left that stuff there, you know?
At this point, let's just walk to the food court.
Like these places, in many cases, you know, it was people's lives. You know, it was where they worked. It was where they hung out, shopped, spent time, and I think it's really cool. These are like historical documents.
You know what I don't see? Where's the movie theater at?
Chicken teriyaki. Like some teenager, this was their first job, you know, or a bunch of them really, like over time. But this was their first job, was working in some place like this.
This one was a Subway.
Right, but that's the thing, is everybody should have a mall job that they love and hate. You know, they should all. Everybody should get the opportunity to have that memory. But
Probably gonna have to go through the back room.
I digress.
Movie theaters in this general direction.
Yeah, I mean, so I worked at EB Games in 2006, and then returned to work at what was now GameStop in 2007. And if the mall that was in,
Still airing that.
if it was ever in a state of like
These are the Segway
being unoccupied or dead or whatever, and I went back there to visit it, and just like it would be weird, you know, it'd be like stepping back in time alone.
This electrical is pretty active. They keep it clean back here. Yeah, this is the movie theater.
Yeah, this is such an AMC.
Yeah.
But it's
That is
turned
really
into a
nice looking. I
Regal.
like it.
It's like an old AMC too.
I miss these old style movie theaters like this.
Do you want to go to the lobby or just check out the theaters?
Let's see if there's seats left.
Alright.
They're probably gonna be stripped because they usually are.
They probably auctioned it all off.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Or kept them from.
They went in one place before, and there was whole projector setups and everything still there.
To a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Still popcorn on the floor. I see a screen.
Torn. There's seats.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, this is a tiny theater.
Yeah, but see, this is back when they would build these like 20 screen theaters, and so they would have movies would stay longer in theater. But what you'd have is you'd get them demoted to like these smaller theater rooms, but they still provided the opportunity to see them.
That's a big one.
So like if you that's like a more normal size theater for something that just recently came out. But yeah, like I worked at a I guess it was Regal Edwards, and it had 21 screens including IMAX. And the way it worked back then was you would have movies that were still there 3 or 4 months after release, but they were just in the smaller screens, but you could still go see it at theater.
I've never been to an AMC person.
They would just kind of slowly but surely like get stepped down from the bigger screens.
Which was bought out by AMC.
Okay.
Or maybe when that happened, they closed this and Regal bought this location.
I like the Art Deco vibe, even though it's totally artificial.
Yeah, I think it was actually...
Art Deco was probably the single greatest era of architectural design
No movie posters
in America.
Yeah, those are always fun to see how long it's been sitting abandoned.
Look at that. Like, it's just so cool. It was a whole
Look at that snow coming down.
event to go to the movies. I actually have a reel posted on my Instagram where it's a photo of one of the wing areas of the local movie theater. And a lot of your bigger theaters, they had these, you know, you would have your main concessions when you walked in, and then when you walked down either wing of the theater to get to the cinemas, to the screens, on either wing back in the day, there would be additional concessions, you know, smaller ones, satellite stations, because, you know, the attendance to movies was so big.
$3.91.
And now they're gone. Like, they're just in empty space there now.
Front seats are gone.
Dang.
It's nothing that crazy.
No, they're honestly really bland theaters. They're all gray.
Well, what did you expect them to be? That you normally sit in the dark?
This theater is 700 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You gotta check it. Oh, it's
That's
an
another
IMAX.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
They probably...
that's still huge.
This is,
It's an
yeah.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Because I worked where we had a full 5-story IMAX screen, and it didn't have
It's one of the
700
smaller
seats.
ones, but this is a real IMAX aspect ratio. Oh my god, the IMAX speakers are here.
Oh, that's crazy. They're still there.
IMAX speakers behind the screen.
That's a lot of freaking people or seats.
So gray and drab.
It's got the bigger incline.
Yeah.
for the IMAX
That's what,
speaker.
like, people just don't think about.
Let's see what's up in the
When you think about the
projectors.
early 2000s, which was
Promising for
probably
inside
peak
the
for
But
for
we gotta
movie
look.
attendance, it wasn't like, oh, we've got this $1 billion movie like we do now. Like, oh, this movie made $1 billion, or this other movie made $800 million, whatever it was. It was
World is in this room.
it was more spread out across multiple movies that would just be very successful.
And I'm gonna tell you, I don't
People
think
would be
there's
going to
anything
see the
find
big
here.
movie that just came out. They'd be going to see the movie that came out a few weeks ago. They'd be going to see a movie for the third time that came out 3 months ago. It was just, that was what people did.
Pulley.
Yeah, here's the platform for the IMAX projector. Not there anymore, of course. Oh, these are the employees, maybe? Well, Urban Ninja, that sounds like an Urban Explorer. But this person was clearly an assistant manager here.
This is the stuff I really like when they find it.
I kind of want to see what the roof looks like.
Like old employee writings and names and stuff like that. Is it the roof? Hell yeah.
It's snowing.
Some nice fresh snow.
So quiet. Music is spot on. So fitting.
Demolition of the Richmond Town Square Mall is likely to begin any day now. The site will be cleared to make way for a new mixed-use development.
This was 2 months ago, so it might have already started. Crazy though, like, I don't know, I could just go on and on talking about the meaning of these things, the importance of some of these places that were once our big social gathering points. They were once just where people went to do things. And it's just not the same anymore. We just don't have that same kind of the focus on, you know what, like, I don't have a huge reason to be at the mall, but I'm going to go. You know, maybe I'll find something I want to buy. Maybe I'll run into somebody I know, you know, that sort of thing. It was just really cool. But then Amazon happened. Either who. Don't think it's gonna be I think this might be where we call it tonight. Not really a super long stream tonight. Just wanted to make sure I got on and chilled for a bit. I was in the mood to watch some of these videos. I was saying this on I think the test stream or one of the first ones I did, but some of these things I don't actually sit and watch anymore, or I never did. Like some of the food stuff, I don't actually just sit and watch that, but I would love some exploring experiences, but not others. What do you mean? But it ends up being kind of like an avenue for me to watch a greater variety of things on YouTube, but also share it. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm not real interested in chilling with people who might go crazy psychotic crackhead on me. I was watching, I do like watching those videos though. Those are kind of interesting. There is Dan Bell. You know who that is, Agent Tomcat. His channel has seemingly shifted from some of the mall stuff and that sort of thing to what would you call it? Like, he has one video that was recent where he was exploring like trap house areas in Philadelphia, and I'm like, bro, you're kind of like this I'm sorry, this big fat guy. You're a little out of shape. What happens if you need to like run from somebody or something? I don't think this is a great idea. Yes, you and Dan Bell are just Yeah, we'll slowly but surely run out of a lot of these types of places. And I guess that means that the people who have memories of them will slowly but surely run out of them as well. Getting old. But, well, I'm gonna probably call it here. Let's get to the ending screen here. Likely will be on tomorrow. I am closing tomorrow night, so I typically, when I do that, I'm kind of ready to come home and turn on stream. If I don't stream tomorrow night, I'll make sure to let anybody who's interested know, I suppose, what I'm doing. But thanks for joining me. For those who did, I did see the attendance blip up to like 6 at one point. So whoever is here or was here, appreciate you stopping in, and hope you'll give me a chance on another one. So we'll catch you later.